Yes, people, we are live. Weekly Surgery episode 9. But before we get into it, people, at the Albert JTV household, let's hit the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV. I won't say Southeast on the red carpet, but I've said it anyway. But yeah, Weekly Surgery, people, man, episode 9. As I always say to you people, obliterate the like button, and I will put this on my audio, on my Spotify and Anchor, so you can hear my dulcet tones, because people keep saying that I'm saying dulcet tones. Dulcet is a certain place in a certain part of the country, but nevertheless,
very beautiful, very
yeah,
beautiful part of the country.
very beautiful. Thank you, Daps.
Yeah.
Oh, people, I've got my special brother from another mother. We haven't connected for quite a while, actually.
No, we haven't.
A long time ago, but we still kind of kept in touch. But I'm happy to have him on, man. My Man City brother from the Northwest. Daps, thank you for coming on, man, for Weekly Surgery, bro.
Yeah, you know what? It was early doors when I first started YouTube. When we connected on Irish
Republic of Arsenal, yes.
Republic of Arsenal's channel, and we always said we were going to do something.
Yeah,
we've taken a while to do it, but it's good to be on at last. And people smash the like; it's free, and it supports the channel so much. It actually helps the channel more long term than super chats or any of that stuff, because
100%.
the algorithms love it. So it's free. Just hit that thumb.
Yeah, Daps, appreciate the love, brother, man. But yeah, Weekly Surgery, man. Like it's yes, I love Arsenal and I love to about football, but I like I said, when I started my channel many moons ago now, it feels like it anyway, June 2020. I knew I wanted to do stuff outside of Arsenal. And not to everyone's like, but you know what? It's my channel, so I like to do what I want to do.
You know what? We started Never a Foul.
Yeah.
September 2020.
Yeah.
And Never a Foul's generic.
Yeah.
People follow Never a Foul.
Yeah, of course, man.
But then this season, Hold Tight Ty, who I set up with Ty and Soups. Ty's been doing Trafford Tunnel, which is our Man United channel, and I've been doing more other people's channels, feed the goat a bit, but more other people's channel to build myself up as a
100
person more. And now we've said the same, me and Ty, from June we're starting back, bringing all the generic stuff back, because sometimes it gets boring talking about. I can tell you the build up to the Liverpool game. I was like 2-3 pods a night just talking about City and Liverpool, and it was like I can't really talk any more about this game. There's nothing more I can say about this game. The media's talking about this game. I'm bored of hearing about this game. Can we just get this game out of the way? Because then we've got to play you a week later with the cup.
No, much love, man. But now, people, please listen. Follow the football community, man. Go and follow my guy Daps, man. Top guy, man. 100%. But Daps, we're gonna get into it, man. Talk about obviously our last two league results, Arsenal and Man City. I'm gonna start with your boys first. Actually, a very comprehensive 5-1 win. I'll be honest, I didn't see. I saw the brief highlights of the game, to be honest with you. But was it as comfortable as the scoreline looked? And how did City play in that game for you, mate?
So it's on shows like this, right, where when I do like one-to-ones with people I've known for a while, where I'll let people into a little bit more about myself. And I've said this before, and 1 or 2 people have tried to bring it up in a different way, saying, "Oh my God, you're a Glory supporter."
No, you're not, man.
So I have supported Manchester City since I was about 3.5 when my mum and dad broke up, and we moved. My mum remarried, and we moved to Manchester, where my stepdad that raised me and I call dad lived. However, my real dad, who now lives in Thailand, is actually a Watford fan. And so I did actually go to Vicarage Road once or twice as like a 2 or 3-year-old. So Watford, and it's funny because they are probably the worst team their history against Manchester City is absolutely shocking. And it's the same this season. We haven't been, since early January, we have not been clinical. We have not been smashing teams. I think we did beat Norwich by a few and maybe Leeds.
Yeah, yeah.
Predominantly, we've been very wasteful in front of goal. People will say Grealish. I will also say Foden's been wasteful. Who else have we played up top? Sterling's been not Sterling. Yes, Sterling's not been as good up top. Mahrez has actually recently been less clinical as he has been. And when people were saying you're going to smash Watford 4-5-0, I was like, well, who did we last smash?
Yeah.
And then we turn up, play Watford, and 5-1.
Yeah.
But it is, we can get it out of the way. It is a talking point because you lot are heavily linked with him. Gabriel,
we're gonna come. We're gonna come on. Yeah, you can come on to that. You can come on to that.
I mean, I don't think you can talk about this game without talking about Jesus. He got on, I think Thursday, it came out from City that he is up for sale. It's kind of obvious now. So if you don't know, City have got 4 players whose contracts end summer 2023. Gundogan, Mahrez, Sterling, and Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, I've been for a while saying I think Arsenal and Sterling.
Yeah, a lot of people push that for quite a while. Yeah, they have.
I get it. There's things behind it that, like, and a lot of people that aren't Arsenal fans will say, oh, Sterling would never leave City to go to Arsenal. He wants to win stuff. And I'm like, this is his big contract, right?
Yeah.
If Arsenal get Champions League football, he's in the Champions League. He wants to stay at City. I do believe that. But at the same time, he's said, I want to see what else is out there. I want to see what other options, as anyone does when it gets to this age. This is what I want from City. If they're not going to pay me, well, I'm going to listen. You've then got his relationship with Arteta. He is a Northwest London man. And then from Arsenal's point of view, and this is, I've been having this argument today with a few people because I did this post about City's future with a load of their young players. I had Sterling and Diaz in it because they're still, Diaz is only 24, I think Sterling's 26. Yeah. And I said, City's young players under those two's leadership. And straight away, people were shooting me down. Sterling's leadership. And I was like, listen, firstly, go and look at the results for City when Sterling's been captain, because he's a bit of an unsung hero as a captain. Secondly, you need to understand demographics. You need to understand a lot. And to young English men, even more so to young black English men, Raheem Sterling is looked up to because he has come out not to protect himself. He's been racially abused by the media, whatever else, for a long time. He was quiet until they went for a younger. Then he came out because he will not have younger black men be targeted the way he was. So that is very key. He is a leader to the younger English players. And
there's different types. That's different types of leadership. I think people sort of pigeonhole it as you've got to be someone that's, you know, tearing your shirt open and being vocal all the time. That's old school.
Yeah. Or there's that type. Or then there's a type like De Bruyne who leads from the front with, you know, charging, scoring goals, all of that. Then there's people that are often quiet, but people look up to. Fernandinho is another one for City. Yeah. He's not tearing his shirt off, but he is like apparently pivotal, and he's our club captain, but in the background, keeping the elders, the youngers, and everything. And I think Sterling. And the final thing is his numbers are so disrespected for City as well. But the shirt sales for Arsenal, because I know your club do love that. Although you're changing now, you are changing. He would sell an obscene number of shirts for Arsenal. He really would. So I thought Sterling. However, it's come out Jesus, and I think he's a good sign. I'm a massive defender.
Sorry, that just to ask you, I'm going to bring you back in. How would you view his career at City?
Who Jesus?
What you've seen, and like you finally kind of answered the question. Really, would he be a good fit for Arsenal in your opinion?
So there has to be a caveat there, right? So his best position for me at City has been wide right. When he first arrived and he played through the middle, he scored 9 in 11, right?
Yeah.
And he looked very good. Then he got an injury And his first injury really seemed, he took it deeply. He was crying on the pitch, and that seemed to change him, knocked his confidence a little bit. However, there is a reason that this season and many other seasons, but I can talk this season in particular, we played Chelsea, PSG, Liverpool all in a week. And when I saw Jesus was not playing against PSG, I was like, that is because he is playing against Liverpool. And again, the other day, he got rested in the game before Liverpool and then played Liverpool in the league and had a sensational, because Pep trusts him. Sometimes there's players that are trusted in very big games, because in very big games, you need players that will work their ass off. And I'm not saying the full 90. I said start Sterling, and I had lots of City fans coming for him. Sterling, sorry, Jesus, start him, because there is no better player in Manchester City's squad at leading the press from the front. No better player. He puts in 100%. His running is not rated enough as far as not, I mean, chasing the ball. I mean, the menace he is to defenses, the runs he makes. So, as far as work ethic and the other thing, which is very important, I think, especially with the mentality you lot are now going for, because I've seen Arsenal have changed from this. I always
the profiler player,
fashionable. You are now under Arteta going for players that have a mentality, right? This certain type of mentality. Now, the reports are that when we signed Jesus, our club had been going to. Our club had done due diligence as far as middle schools, checking school reports and what his attitude was like. And they do that on apparently a lot of players. Considering Jesus has never held down a first team position at City and his age, have you ever heard him moan or anything?
No, I've not heard any reports.
Never. And when he comes in, he does a job. So there's that. Now, the only caveat would be, all right, maybe he hasn't been clinical through the middle. But then I would say on that, tell me a striker that is clinical through the middle when they're not starting week in, week out.
It's not many, mate. It's a very short
list.
There might not even be a list for it.
When he first came in and was starting week in, week out, he scored 9-11. And again, against Watford at the weekend, he scored 4 goals. One was a very well-taken penalty as well, which our club generally can't do. So I rate him. I'd be sad to see him go. I think for the amount you'll pay for him, I think it's probably a good signing, because he's got 14 months left on his contract. You'll probably pay about 25, 30 million max. So,
you know what?
And he'll demand less in wages than Sterling.
When the rumors started up about Rashford, I wasn't on board for that. And that's nothing personal against Marcus Rashford. I just think his development, and I understand the point of he's been under a hell of a lot of managers, Marcus Rashford, and that has contributed to me why he's not, to me, where he should be. He's a good player, but
Ollie also ran him into the ground last season, injury-wise.
Yeah. But with the Jesus links, for me, I think it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. I think
he won't bring to you what Rashford will, and this is where Arsenal are trying to move away from all this negative press. Rashford might, I mean, I'm not saying, look, we all know what Rashford's done, sensational away from the pitch, but at the moment there's a lot of media spotlight on any English player, right? And there will be on that on Rashford. With Jesus, there won't be any of that. It's another below the radar almost signing Arsenal could make, and it's just, if you lot, my only concern is, guys, don't expect him to necessarily come in and score 30 goals.
But that's my. You know what? I don't mind him coming, but from the talk you hear from Arsenal, it would be him. All right, let's for argument's sake, it would be him and somebody else, and that's what has to happen. It can't just be him. It can't just be him.
No, it can't be.
I know you don't watch that. Sorry, I know you don't watch Arsenal every week, but Fergus, big up to you, man. Guns, yellow ribbons. It's a good question. He said, "What players would have to be dropped to fit him into the Arsenal squad or team? Should I say team?
Well, this is a thing that if
it's a good headache.
We've got to remember, we have to remember that Arteta knows him, right?
Yeah,
Arteta knows him. He knows everyone at City. If you've ever watched the Amazon Prime documentary, Pep likes to keep himself a bit distance from the players. It was Arteta that was always the one going to Pep. He had relationships with all the players, so he knows that. Like I said, my preferred position for Jesus at Manchester City is wide right. However, that doesn't mean it's his best position. That means at City, that's where he's best. Now, that's because he's not starting week in, week out.
Do you think Arteta would play him there?
No, because I don't think he'd go in over Saka wide right. I think I think he might play through the middle. And if he plays week in, week out through the middle, look, he just scored 4 at the weekend and got an assist. You can't tell me that if he's not played, he might be clinical. It's worth, and it's a gamble, but you have to at the moment. You're missing that striker. So if you get
100%.
him for 25, and then I don't know what other strikers you're linked with, but it would allow you to then go and get another plan B, or maybe
Tammy Abrahams has been linked.
One like
before.
that. That's what I'm saying too. And then ultimately, what you want is, and I mean, we've done the same this summer. We have no striker at the moment. We're bringing in Aguero and not Aguero, sorry, Haaland.
Sorry.
Aguero, who is a straight up through the middle striker. And
who's the other guy you bought, Daps?
Julian Alvarez. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
And he plays wide, left or right. So it's good. You need two. I remember when we had. It's funny now when I look back. We used to have Aguero, Tevez, Zeko, and Jovetic or Negredo. And now we've got no strikers, but you do need plan A's and plan B. Like I always go on, Giroud for you lot was just a sensational plan B. Always was, that you could just throw him on and near post he's going to score.
It's interesting. You said, that's why I liked. That's why I like to get sort of rival fans on to get like your opinions of how you see Arsenal, because sometimes within our own fan base, particularly on the social media side of it, it's just hell for leather, particularly on Twitter. It's crazy, man. But that's why I like. So now it's great to it's great to get your sort of input, because you see Jesus week in, week out.
Yeah, I think as well with your club and with most clubs, to be fair, it's like Chelsea's fan base are really bad at it. Someone's either amazing or shit. There's no
there's no in between.
There's no in between. I think with Arsenal, I mean, I'll get shot down probably for this. I like Lacazette.
Oh God, you know what it is, Daps. I'm only going to speak for myself when I say this as an Arsenal fan. I won't speak for anybody else. Big up to people in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, man. Smash the like button if you haven't already. I'm sure they have. My gooners, couple City guys in there. Well, thank you. Lacazette has some very, very good attributes, but I even look at it with the French national team. Daps. Deschamps absolutely loves Giroud. There's a reason why Lacazette hasn't been in that French squad for a number of years. And I don't think it's even just a case of that, his ability to score goals, because Giroud went through a wretched time. I don't think he scored in the World Cup, to be honest with you. But he played.
He does love Giroud, doesn't he?
He does.
Really
Giroud would be better in this side than he was when he was at Arsenal, because he would have played to his strengths.
I like Giroud, always did. I think he was. I just remind him of Zeko. Zeko, the same for me. That sometimes, and we had to let him go because it was only fair. But you sometimes need a plan B. You need someone, and that's where we've missed. I think if we had that, we probably wouldn't have dropped points to Palace or Southampton, which we'd now probably almost have wrapped up the league already. But I as far as Arsenal at the moment, I mean. Yeah, so sorry. Let's finish the Watford game. Sorry, I can go on tangents. Watford game. Right. It was very much run of the mill. Luckily, after the FA Cup semi-final, we had 2 easy games in Brighton and Watford. Ultimately, we had to win them. If we don't, we can't complain if we don't win the league, because we need to win the league. We have to beat Watford and Brighton, and if we can't beat them, Liverpool deserve it. Liverpool have had a few of their harder games. Now it switches, and we've got maybe a few more difficult games. But
who have you got next, Daps?
Leeds Real Madrid tomorrow night.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Which we're looking a bit weak for, to be fair, defensively.
Got a couple injuries, don't it?
Couple of injuries.
Yeah.
Then we've got Leeds away on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then we've got Real Madrid away. And then after that, I believe it's Newcastle at home, I think, which is but again, Newcastle at the moment, it's not guaranteed. So it's squeaky bum time, but can't complain. It's better than Gillingham.
Yeah. How confident are you feeling about I mean, would you say this is the best Liverpool side you've seen?
Yeah. For me, the difference between this Liverpool side, Liverpool will always say, and I do get it, that their best team was the team that won the Champions League and came second to us.
Yeah.
For me, the difference this year is sorry, that comment about 39,000 fans in attendance, we've sold out, and Real Madrid didn't sell out their allocation, so we took their tickets and sold them out. But yeah, we keep them coming, boys, keep them coming. But as far as me, the difference between this Liverpool team and that Liverpool team is their depth. They then had a very strong starting 11 and they managed to keep them all fit. This season, they don't need to. I mean, I'll be honest. I will still say with chest to every single Liverpool fan, we're still top of the league, right? And anyone that says Liverpool have been better than us this season, it's like, well, in this game of football, points win prizes, and we're 1 point ahead of them. So currently, over the season, maybe not, but right now, they're an absolute monster. And I've seen, I mean, like I said before, from early January, I was seeing a lot of worrying things about this City side.
I know those guys. They're good guys.
No, it's all right. Listen, you will get a bite off of me all day long. I'm one of the few people that will sit here, and if people see me looking this way, it's because I've got a screen here and a screen here with the comments on, right?
You multitask, man. I know, man. I know only too well, bro.
And I read them, and it doesn't matter if I'm on terrace with thousands of comments coming. I'm reading them, getting rattled by them, and everyone says I need to turn them off and ignore them, but I just can't do it. So as far as if we win the league this season, it makes me, and like Pep's journey at City, because when he first came, I was like that. I was like, look, the manager before him at Bayern won everything. He didn't win everything. So let's wait and see what he can do. I've got more and more respect for Pep while he's been at the club. If we win the league this season, I'll have even more respect for him.
Take this question as well, bro, if you can, mate. Go on. Everything can and chat. Big up to you guys, man. So that's the question. How long do you see Pep staying if he doesn't win the Champions League? I don't
think the Champions League's anything to do with it. The thing is, right, that people need to understand with City's set up hierarchy is they were brought in 2 years before Pep came, right? They are Pep's friends. Pep's brother owns a football club in Spain with these people, right? He has everything he could possibly want, right? He's happy. His children are now grown up. He's happy at the club, right? There is this narrative that Pep has to win the Champions League. Now, I've heard that a lot. Oh, all the time. All the time. Look, Liverpool fans won't allow us to talk about them doing the quadruple, but they think that if Pep doesn't win the Champions League, it's a failure. But right now, 6 games away from doing the quadruple, that might be seen as a failure. But what he has done to this club is brought us an identity. He's changed the mentality. Before this, we were just a club that would go out and buy Adebayors, go out and buy people, throw them in. And sure, we got 2 Premier Leagues, but I sat there and looked at what we achieved before Pep and what we achieved after. It's not comparable. He took us from when Pellegrini left, we'd got 66 points that season. We were a bit like a Chelsea, to be fair. We're up, down, buy players. Pep's come in and just like taken it to another level. But it works. It's not just Pep, it's Pep's team. It's the board, it's everything. And when people say when Pep leaves, we'll see a dip. We will see a dip.
Of course, it happens. It's inevitable,
But it won't be a Man United dip, because the difference is our board will be looking like the minute. So I think before Pep signed his first ever contract extension, Van Bronckhorst was given the keys to City to be back, because they thought he wasn't going to sign. And that was a good year and a half before he signed. The board will know, they're friends, so they know when Pep. Now, at the moment, the Haaland signing and the fact that Haaland has come out and said it's kind of he wants to play under Pep. Pep's got a year left, about 14 months left on his contract. For me, he's signing a new one. Like the other one, we've got a young player called James McAtee, who is really highly thought of. And
how good is Cole Palmer? Just to distract you, sorry, mate.
So with McAtee, just quickly,
you're gone, bro.
Pep rarely gets involved in conversations to do with signing of contracts. He got involved in that one to speak to the parents and give him the guarantees that he's going to follow the same. So if Pep's getting involved and giving parents kind of, listen, this is how I'm going to grow your son, he's not going to leave next summer. Otherwise, he wouldn't be having them conversations. McAtee, remember the name.
Yeah, I'll
absolute baller. As for Cole Palmer, I think Cole Palmer's elite. I feel sorry for him that he got injured when he did, because he was just starting to pick up some form. I keep screaming these last cup semi-final. I wanted to see him the other day. I want to see Cole Palmer again, but He played the other day for the EDS team that just won the one of the youth leagues or something. So,
yeah.
but he's another one to watch. The summer's going to be fun with him, Delap, McAtee, Kai, who's a Brazilian. We've got all of them lot in the summer. Should be fun seeing them grow.
No, big up to you, Daps, man. No, great stuff for you, man. That's why I'll get you on, man. No, that's nosy stuff, bro.
Well, you know what it is as well. The more so is the more you do YouTube and the more you're embedded in it, the more you have to, and the more you listen to other people talk, and you. Okay, because there's like I could shout so many people, and even people in the comments or people on Instagram that know more than me, and I listen to these people because they do talk sense. Everyone's and this is the thing about YouTube.
It doesn't hurt to listen. It doesn't hurt to listen, man. It doesn't hurt to listen.
And it's funny when you do streams all the time and talk to people with knowledge all the time, and then you watch mainstream TV and hear the commentators talk, and you think you haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. You literally are reading.
No, well said, man. Daps. Yeah, man. I'm to move on to the Arsenal Man United game, which was on St. George's Day, 12:30 kickoff. I was there, Daps.
I think everyone was, right?
Yeah. So, you know what, Daps, with our run of 10 games that we had, when I looked at the big games, no disrespect to the teams that obviously beat us and the games that we still got left, but I said in terms of the Chelsea, the West Ham, the Tottenham, and the Man United game, I thought we would sneak it against Chelsea and beat them. We did.
Did last year as well, right?
I thought we'd beat Manchester United. I thought we'd be tight. I didn't think it'd be easy. You know what? When I watched the game back when I got home, Daps, I watched extended highlights of the game. It was a lot tighter than you probably would have thought. The thing is, Arsenal for once actually started the game well. We haven't done that too many times at the Emirates. So to score within the first 2 or 3 minutes was amazing. But I thought United in the first half made it very, very easy for us. They're very easy to bypass their midfield. I don't know what I've heard Man United fans complain they ain't got no midfield. They don't know how to press. They're static. And they made it easy I thought they made it easy for us.
You know what? When we played them a couple of weeks back, I laughed about it because for the first 2 minutes, they were pressing the hell out of us, right?
Yeah.
But we were passing about, like, even though I thought they were pressing really well, our passing was so calm and almost piss taking out of the back, like where it was getting to the point where we could have moved the ball forward, and it's like City players would turn about like, we'll just go back to Edison for a bit. And after 2 minutes, I saw the whole of United just give up, like, we're not doing this for 90 minutes. Fuck this. We're not pressing no more. I was like, you've done it well for 2 minutes, but after that, they just lost it. And I said this about United, right? This season, let me be clear. No United fans try and come for me. I get what you were about many moons ago, but you're not that team
of
no
course,
more,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
If you can play the basics of football against this Manchester United team, they will make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Just pass the ball about, keep the ball, pass the ball about. Chances will come. Chances will come because they're just not that good. Well, I don't know what it is on paper.
Yeah. The thing is that when you say that, they're not that. Look, listen, we're not United fans, but from what I've seen this season, and I said this to a couple of Man United guys that I get on well with, I said this is the worst I've seen them.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, they look good, but they're really bad.
They are. I mean, even some of the games they've won, not even just the one against Norwich with the Ronaldo hat trick. United have been very fortunate, and it has been individual brilliance that has got them to the point that they've got to. But yeah, someone mentioned the chat in the second half. Daps, what with Arsenal, right? I thought in the second half we started the way we kind of start most games. We sat off too deep. United had very good chances. I thought there were 3 key turning points in the game. The Ramsdale fantastic save from Dallo. That was a brilliant save. That was a fantastic save. Yeah. The Fernandes penalty miss, obviously, and the Xhaka goal. Those were the 3 pivotal moments, man. And sometimes it is small margins. And if that penalty goes in at 2-2, I feared for Arsenal at that point.
Yeah, I've that's all I've heard on every podcast. People saying if we would have scored that, and that's like me coming on in now and say, listen, if Havertz didn't score against us in the Champions League final, we'd now have a Champions League because he did score against us. So all of that is just honestly, and all this. Look, I was Arsenal for the day. I was with most of my mates were Arsenal fans, to be fair. So I was down in London we were going to the boxing, but we went to a pub in West End
Yeah.
and watched the game. And there's one United fan with us, the rest all Arsenal. And people thought I was Arsenal, but I'm not, I just hate United. So, but it's funny, you know, when you watch a game, and to me, it was all Arsenal. But that's because I was with Arsenal fans, and it was all Arsenal and anything United. But when I watched it back, it was closer. It was closer. But I mean, look, it's even things like Varane is supposed to be like Champions League Varane. I hate people giving players names like that because you've put him on this pedestal, and people say, "Oh no, he's looked all right this season," but he's looked injury prone. And when I have seen him, he really hasn't looked all right. And the other day, he looked bad. I won't even say he looked all right. He looked bad.
And they can't blame Maguire. And they can't blame Maguire.
No, they can't blame Maguire. Saka once again stepping up, taking a penalty.
Talk to me about him, man. Like from your opinion, like from what you've seen of him, from maybe even from the Euros rightful till now.
You know what, right? So my view on Saka is, so I don't know all these mad Twitter terms, but not Starboy. What's the other one people love? Generational. Generational. On one Spaces, I said, what does generational mean? Because they were like, who? And there was names being thrown about. I'll pull into in a minute. And they were saying generational. I said, right, before I answer this question, tell me what generational means, because I actually don't know. And someone said to me, now this might be wrong, might be right, might be wrong, but they said to me, generational means that in this age group of players, a player that is doing something different that other players aren't doing. And the names that were being spoken about, the two main ones, were Foden and Saka. Now, obviously, I think Foden's an unbelievable baller, right? However, and I think maybe when he drops deeper and plays in a different role, we could rehab the conversation. But if we're talking about someone that is doing something different, then I'm going to say, I think Saka's, how old is he now? 21?
20.
20. Well, he's 20. A 20-year-old that can go from playing left back to right wing, right?
Multiple positions.
Comfortably, right? Yeah. That's generational, because you can't tell me many 20-year-olds that can do that. Like, and again, when we were younger, these type of players I think they used to be called utility players, and people be like, they didn't really rate them. I mean, James Milner, when he was at City, was a utility player. Utility players. Now, under the Pep and Klopp era, these players are no longer seen as utility players. They're seen as some of the most important players because they can move with the transition of the game. So it doesn't matter. They can be as central mid Delph when he slotted in at left back. But then when City have most of the ball, he can move into the middle of the pitch and play football like a midfielder perfectly fine. So for a 20-year-old to be able to play left back, one of the hardest positions on the pitch, and then right wing, shows he's got both feet and shows his intelligence for his age is insane. And then to step up and score penalties after what happened, big balls.
No, that's big up for that. Because
he's a great player, man.
Because I think definitely last season, and I think a little bit this season. I you know what, Dax? You know what it is? I cut through the BS, right? Yes, you have rivalry and banter and whatever, but call it. Listen, if a player's a top player, if he plays for Tottenham, if he plays for Chelsea, if he plays for City, I will call it as it is and say he's a fantastic player. I haven't got this whole thing. I'm an Arsenal fan. I can't say this rubbish. But I think a lot of fans do it with Saka, particularly last season.
Well, I mean, another prime example is, and I'm screaming this because I've been asked the question too many times. I'm so bored of it, and it's not debate. Is the Trent debate? And even listen, I rate Cancelo, right? I rate James. I think they're both great fullbacks, but Trent's 23, right?
Yeah,
and he's been doing this for what, 4 years now?
3, 4. Yeah, I'm about to say that. I'll say that. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's not a debate. Like Reece James having one good season, Cancelo even having 2 good seasons.
And I like Cancelo, by the way. Yeah.
I think they're both very, very good players. But it's not like Trent is 23, right?
Yeah.
And he's got all this pressure on him, and he's been doing it for 4 seasons now. Come on, man. It's not a debate. And even YouTube channels that try and bring up that question all the time. It's not a debate. Have a good debate. Someone said to me the other day, for example, outside a pub, who's better? Who was it? It was Vardy or
God,
I can't remember. Oh, I'm
yo,
going to
sorry.
remember. It was, but
Yeah,
these good debates. There are good debates.
there are
The,
good.
you know what? The
There can
Fabregas
be. Yeah,
Thiago
yeah,
thing can be a good debate, but
yeah.
Trent against people that have had one good season is not a debate.
The
People
context.
like it's
There's no.
not,
If they lose
man.
the.
It
Yeah, it's no.
really
Yeah,
isn't.
yeah. No, you
So
make a
with
good point. You
Saka
know
the
what?
same.
You make
With
a good
Saka the
point. I
same.
think I heard. I don't know who said it. It was like I went. I would that you can probably identify with this as well. Anyone that like would play football when they're younger or whatever, or thought wanted to go pro or whatever. You was when I was younger anyway. One position went to play striker.
I
I
was
think
left-footed
now.
because I was
I think
left-footed,
yeah, yeah.
but it was, yeah.
I think now the likes of Cancelo and most definitely Trent. I think probably most kids coming through. I would say that's probably the most attractive
Big
position to
fans.
play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%,
You're not
bro.
wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
100%.
It's now all of a sudden they're the playmakers.
Yeah, yeah.
The guys in the midfield are all about retention.
And pressing. Yeah, 100%.
It's these men that are the playmakers. Like, because if we think who's Trent being, the name that I see, not when people are trying to do a debate, the name I see people starting to compare Trent with is Beckham because of his delivery, like
Delivery,
his
yeah.
numbers. Yeah. So, but yeah, these are the type of conversations. That's something I've found recently as well. During the period when I was doing a lot of pods on the Liverpool City games,
Yeah.
I'd started on Twitter getting quite a lot of inbox messages off of random Liverpool fans just sending me abuse, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
I started having a few Liverpool fans come in saying, would I come on? And I was like, do you know what? Yeah, me and your fan base don't really get on. But I went on, and most of them are proper respectful, and you can have a good football chat. And that's all I'm here for.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
The only
Well
time
said.
anyone will ever hear me start beating my chest and talking wild about City is if I've got 3 Liverpool fans all telling me every Liverpool fan is better than every City player, and then it'll be like, okay, well, I know what the vibe of this show is, so now I'll do the same if I have to.
Yeah,
but I'd
yeah.
much rather sit here and be respectful about your team because they're a good team. What's the point of me
100%.
lying? We've all got TVs, we can see it.
Yeah, that's one to yeah. No, well said, bro. Well said. I echo that, man. 100%. I was just to ask you about what have you, two-part question. Obviously, what have you made of Arsenal from the outside this season, with an Arteta, and do you think Arsenal will get top 4?
Right, so I'll go back
question.
to when you got Arteta. I personally thought he was taking the job too soon.
Yeah.
But then I watched his first interview, and he was talking about when he got to the club and he's seen that there's a lot that need to be changed. And I thought, you know what? That's what I thought about Arsenal for so long, right? That they're signing the wrong mentality of players. And I think I'm a big one for mentality. The mentality of the players is key. Like I've watched it with Pep. The minute a player, Sanchez is a great example. He was saying he wants to come City to win stuff. United throw some money in his face, and the minute he saw that, he's like, oh, I might go United. And Pep's like, don't go in for him anymore. He's not coming for the right reason. It's all about mentality. So I noticed that's what Arteta has done. Now, if we go back to your signings last summer, right? So I do think Arteta has learned from Pep a lot. It's about every single person at the club has to pull in the same direction, same vision, even down to the receptionist, the people serving
Tea
the
ladies,
food, whatever.
yeah. All of
Sit there. Like the tea lady can be your best friend. It's perfectly fine. It all helps, right? And I rate that. The difference is when Pep joined City, he came in. Our first season was really bad. He looked at what it was. Our defense was massively aging. Couldn't play out from the back. Next summer, whole new defense, new goalkeeper. The most important signing Pep Guardiola made for Manchester City, Ederson, 100%, because that's the way we play confidently.
Yeah.
And then we go on and get 100 points the season after. The difference with Arteta is he's gone into a club where the owners said, okay, cool. We will change our approach to buying players, right? We will change. It won't all be about the shirt sales anymore.
Yeah.
It won't be about the big names. However, you got to clear the wage bill, rude boy, right? And
it's massive.
And that's what he's so. And you got to get rid of the bad eggs. You have to do that. So people will talk about Aubameyang going and now he's scoring. Listen, that's perfectly fine. I get it, but it wasn't scoring for you. Sometimes things don't work and people have to part ways, right?
Yeah, 100%.
If they go on and do great things, that doesn't mean, see, you were wrong. No, it means it wasn't working here. Relationship was at a point. It didn't work with the philosophy, blah, 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 blah. Cool, right? He's just freed up 350 bags a week for another 4 years, right? Tell me in 4 years Aubameyang's still scoring that many goals, and then I'll say okay. But
yeah, fair
so
play.
he's had to do all of that. Ozil, sensational baller, but in this day and age in the Premier League, these what they call these luxury players that don't need to get back. No more. Don't happen. If it don't happen under Klopp and Pep, it don't happen, right?
Done.
So he had to deal with all of that. If you go back and look at his signings last season, in the summer, most of them have had a very good season. Like most of them, I think Ramsdale. I've got his name right for once. I always get it wrong.
Ramsdale.
Not Ramsdale. Your keeper. It is Ramsdale.
Ramsdale. Yeah, you got it right, man.
Yeah, but I always call him. No, I always call him something else usually.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think he's very good. I mean, he definitely his positioning needs to improve.
The last few weeks, he's been
he pulls out welders, but English keepers are good at this. They make these saves look sensational. If their position in the first place was a little bit better, the save wouldn't look as good, but it would be easier. But he is a good keeper. I think I'd rather him than Pickford for England. I think he's a leader of that defense massively, very vocal, which I love. Then you look at Ben White. Yeah, Ben White's doing a job. As he gets older, I think he'll get better and better.
That's with him particularly. It's so mixed with the Arsenal fans. I know why partly is that the people are some of the fan base are very fixated on, obviously, we bought Saliba, we sent him out on loan, he's doing well, but that's not Ben White's fault. He's been bought in, and
where's he doing well? Where's he doing well? Where is somewhere in France, right?
Yeah, Marseille.
Right, listen, this is the Premier League. Centre backs in the Premier League to centre backs in
League One.
It's different. It is different.
Look, and that's I know you say that in a way not to discredit what Saliba's doing. Yeah, I know.
I'm not discrediting it. This is a tough ass league. This is not like other leagues. Managers have come out and said it. Jose once came out and said it, that with Real and Barcelona, when he was at Real, he could rest players in league games because unless you're playing a Barca, Real, Atletico, you're winning, right? I can rest these players for the Champions League. The Premier League, he said, I can't do that in any game. The Premier League is a tougher, more physical league, right? So Ben White, all right, to think that Saliba's going to come in based on what? Because he's done well elsewhere. Well, Mangala was sensational. We bought him. He wasn't good for us.
Like my opinion, and it's very rare that for me to stick my neck on the line for any Arsenal players, if I'm being honest, over many, many years. But I said with Ben White, I said, look, I think the problem with some Arsenal fans, I use the keyword "some" so people don't start getting all upset. If Ben White had gone to another Premier League club, because it was no secret Liverpool were potentially interested in him, right? And he'd gone there and he'd gone and torn it up and done well. Arsenal fans would have lost their heads, Daps. They would have lost their heads because that's what they do. Yeah. We've got him. I think he's done well. Yes, there's going to be games where defenders have lapses of concentration, which can be costly. He's not the only defender in the league that makes mistakes.
How old is he?
Let's get that right. Ben White is 23, I believe.
Right, he's 23. Look, when we signed John, because I'll compare him to John Stones because he's a ball player, right?
Yeah.
John Stones has had some very hard seasons. Pep once came out and said, I think in the first or second season of John Stones was one of Pep's first signings, said that guy's, again, like I said about Saka, that guy has big balls, because for any defender to play in my style of football, where I'm telling them, and remember, his first season, he was playing with Zabaleta. He was playing with old guys that couldn't play out from the back. Claudio Bravo couldn't play out from the back. John Stones could. He was the only defender that could. And he's trying to play out from the back.
You had Otamendi as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Otamendi, who was an old school defender. Him and John Stones together was just erratic. But ultimately, he had a load of players that can't play out from the back. Then you've got John Stones, he's a ball-playing defender, trying to play out from the back with a load of defenders and a goalkeeper that can't play out from the back. So Pep said he's got balls. Now, he's 23. Centre-backs usually come of age, 29, 30 usually? They start hitting their best.
Peak, like that's the peak of your career, isn't it? Yeah,
28, 30. He's 23, right? Give him a break, man. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. I don't really get this. I'll be honest. I don't get this Arteta. I'll say the same about Arteta as I did about Ollie, right? And I used this the other day. last season when Ollie got, so not last season, season before, Liverpool won the league. Apparently the best ever Premier League team to win the league. City came second. The season after, United came second to City and Liverpool came third, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think
for me,
fourth, yeah.
For me, simple maths. All right, Ollie deserves a contract renewal, or Ollie deserves another season because he's taken Man United from wherever they were to second over a team that were the best Premier League team in. I know I'm looking very high level, but
yeah.
I will give him, and I will always say, I think when Ollie finished second with Man United, he hit his ceiling. He was boxing. He should not have done that, right? But he did do that. You can't let someone do that, then go, you're still not good enough. So I've been on a few Arsenal channels with people that are anti-Arteta, and that's what I say. I'm not telling you Arteta's the truth. I'm not telling you Arteta is going to win you the league or nothing. Because to be frank with you, I don't know who's going to win Arsenal the league while Pep and Klopp are about, and with clubs that are going to spend that much money. It's very difficult, right?
Yeah, very difficult.
But if he's taken you to finishing fourth, right? He's got rid of your wage structure that was really bad, and he's got the mentality better. He's got, you know what? This needs to be spoke about far more. He's got the Emirates back lively again. Yeah.
Yeah,
in fact, maybe the Emirates might be better than it ever has been.
The atmosphere's a lot better than I've seen from a long time.
Possibly better than it ever has been at the Emirates. Maybe not Highbury, but the Emirates, it might be the best it's ever been at the Emirates, right?
So it's a debate to be had. Yeah, it's a debate to be had. It is.
There's more connection with the fans and the players.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're still screaming for him out. Is just for me.
But Daps, you've seen our fan. You've seen our fan base. You've seen it's either it's very Arteta in, or he needs to be gone. There's no balance whatsoever when it comes to
this whole but we want to be back there. Cool. And you're starting to work your way back there. No, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying if next season, because I think this season, if you get top 4, which I think you will, I've been saying it for the longest that I think you will. He deserves another season. Now, the hard thing for your fan base is next season is going to be harder.
Yep, exactly, because everybody else is strengthened.
United have a new manager. They will strengthen. Chelsea are at risk of, I said this earlier today, Chelsea fans should start worrying.
Yeah, they should. I think they should.
If the owner thing gets sorted, they now need 2 centre-backs because Christensen, Rudiger, gone.
Gone. Long gone.
Lukaku, that needs sorting, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Kante.
Not going to be around forever.
Well, he's starting to look that way. So all of a sudden, you're looking at a Chelsea team that, I mean, Gallagher could come in and do so. But on top of that, I've heard reports that they're already spending next season and the season after's TV rights now on wages because Chelsea are not run well. Chelsea's operating model is not good. It was, I mean, look, I don't want to sound because people will come from my club and say sugar daddy. We are run well though. We're run well, right?
Yeah.
From what I've seen, Chelsea aren't run very well, right? And they're at a point where if things aren't corrupt, then sooner or later someone's going to come knocking, going, "Should we deduct some points because this lot are not doing things correctly?" So, Chelsea fans need to start thinking they need this sorted very, very quickly. Otherwise, they'll drop off. But Newcastle are going to be up there soon. West Ham win Europa League. More money with their stadium.
You know what? We won't need Arsenal. We won't near the end of that, mate. If they go win that Europa League, oh my god!
I think this is an interesting one because as a City fan, I don't see I know about West Ham's rivalry with back in the day with Millwall, obviously, and with Chelsea. But now I don't really see that. But I think they get Champions League football. West Ham will be back up. The rivalry, especially with you boys in Tottenham, will
be mad
because they're not far from you. That'll get. But I think. Look. So I think you lot are making some positive changes. You've won the games you should win. Like for me, the 2 games I will speak about for Arsenal, which really impressed me, was Wolves home and away.
Those are 2 massive results. They were massive results,
especially the Wolves away one.
Yeah, massive.
Because Tottenham went and lost at home to Southampton.
Yes.
And you boys went down to 10 men at Wolves, who at the time, let me add, were flying.
Yeah, they're
right?
doing very well, very well. Defensively, very good at the
10
time.
men. And even after that game, I saw some of your fan base talking nonsense about some of your players. I'm thinking, guys, you lot have just held on to a 1-0 win with 10 men at Wolves for almost a half.
Daps, you know what? I'm not even shocked anymore. Even when we beat Chelsea, right? Even I saw some. I look at some of the comments. I could understand if he's a Chelsea fan saying, "No, you know, we had a Champions League game, we had the FA Cup semi-final." Our own fans were saying that, and we won the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand, mate.
You know what it is, and this is something that Arsenal,
Yeah.
that United fans are being told at the moment about understanding. This isn't bringing in Ten Hag and in next season you challenge again. I think Arsenal fans need to understand it as well, that right, with City and Chelsea, when we've dropped off, changes are made instantly, big changes,
Yeah.
and we win the league next season, right? With United and Arsenal, your boards waited too long, right? Your boards have allowed it to get to a point where it's not a simple 1 or 2 changes, because your boards, and let me be clear, I said this before you got rid of Wenger, unless the board changes, don't matter. Wenger's been getting contract renewal after contract renewal after contract renewal because he's hitting his objectives. Your board's objectives are not good enough for your club, right? So it's got to a point where your boards have allowed it to get somewhere that it does need a complete overhaul, which is what Arteta is doing. Ten Hag's going to need to do that, United, but they have to. I don't want to say it. They have to trust the process.
One more thing on Arteta before we move on to the last question, mate. I got a question from Mark. Mark, big up to you. I met you last week at the Hippodrome for the Arsenal podcast with the Hybrid Squad, sorry, and the Judges TV and Harry Simu.
Okay.
And yeah, it's brilliant. Got really intimate, really, really good. So, Mark,
Sick.
a question. Dax, you could probably take this one. Does Arteta still need to learn from Pep how to man manage players better? Before you answer that, Daps, right? I'll put this question. I said, look, we took on a young dynamic head coach or manager now, who's inexperienced. But when does it get to a point where we don't question him and go, oh, it's because he's inexperienced, or is it a case of you're not learning from your mistakes? Because those are two completely different things.
You know what? Right. So, firstly, to the old school Arsenal fans that are like, will probably be the ones calling inexperienced Arteta.
Yeah.
They're probably Wenger fans, right? Now, Wenger was a fan of Arteta. Remember that when you're knocking Arteta. Remember, Wenger was the one that started this whole Arteta hype, right? So now, with man management, like I said earlier, he was the guy with the relationships with the players, not Pep. Pep kept the distance. There's certain key moments in the Amazon thing where he'd come to Pep about Sterling, how Sterling was feeling, and it was him that was. And people will say Aubameyang that. That's the one they'll go to.
An example. Yeah, that's the main
now
one.
Aubameyang's scoring for Barcelona. He must have been able to score for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Look, 350 grand a week, 5 years. Let me remind you. I'll keep saying that. 350 grand a week for 5 years.
Yeah.
Also, go and check out Aubameyang's record at Dortmund. He had issues there with managers as well.
It's no secret. It's no secret.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, how's his management of Odegaard? How's his management of Saka?
Where there's cons, there's pros. Yeah. I get it.
Can't look. These are footballers who have been good their whole life and been told how good they are their whole life.
Yeah.
Even if they're down to earth, they're confident young men, right? Who don't want to be left on the bench, right? Let alone you're getting Aubameyang who's 30 something on 350 grand a week. I couldn't manage that. And you've got players that are working harder and believe in the vision more and are going to be at Arsenal for the next 10 years, not for 4 years rinsing you for 350 grand a week. Yeah. You can't keep every player happy. I know that. City, Pep's struggling with us. We've got one of the smallest squads in the league. Everyone doesn't believe it. Go and Google it. We do, right? Because Pep has said he doesn't like having too big a squad because it's difficult keeping everyone happy, right? So it's not an easy job. I think he probably will learn, but you could argue that if he was weak, right, where would you be now? If he was weak and just allowed these players that now have gone on to do, Aubameyang was still there, where would you be now? Do you think you'd be third?
Mm.
So
No, Daps, you make a good point, and you talk about and it's a key thing. I must admit, the relationship with the players and the fans, and he has he has had an impact with that. Trying
yeah,
to change a culture at a football club, any football club. Let's be honest. If you've had a systemic culture at a football club where it's not been great, it's very difficult to change
yeah.
that. So as many times he's irritated me since he's been here, Arteta.
Oh, and I get
You
that as
can,
well, by the way.
yeah, you can. There are some positives there if you choose to believe, if you choose, well, what you see what you want to see in it.
If
I
you
say that.
trust it, you know what? It's so
Trust your own eyes.
cheesy, but if you trust the process as well, where if you think that another manager could come in, right, and your board will give the manager whatever they want to buy whoever what Arteta has been given,
Yeah.
and he could get you above fourth this
Mm.
season. Okay. I would question how any manager with the amount that Arteta has spent, and I know he has spent quite a lot,
Yeah,
but
he's
I
been
would
back. Yeah,
question, yeah, he has been back to Greece.
yeah, yeah.
If any manager could come in and get you above fourth this
Oof.
season,
Mm.
tell me who, and tell me how, tell me what players they would have bought. Like, again, knowing you haven't got Champions League football, tell me the plan they would have come with to get you above Chelsea, Liverpool, and City this season. And then I'll have the argument. Otherwise, it's like, you know what? He deserves to stay for now, and let's readdress it next year when you finish wherever.
Mm. Yeah, with a lot of the managers that before it comes to with a lot of the managers that would be linked to Arsenal in terms of, let's say, the experienced ones, Arsenal just wouldn't have got them.
Well,
Because these guys come with it. Like when we had the link with Allegri, for example, right? Apparently, too arrogant. He basically said, what are you gonna kind of show me, kind of thing?" And he was too arrogant. Well, is it arrogance or is it because he's a winner?
well, this is the thing. I always say when people talk about Pep's been given everything he wants to achieve what he needs to achieve, yeah. And that's what happens in the big wide world. When you get to a point, you become, when you get elite at your job, you no longer, and I was saying this about Ten Hag at Man United, that they weren't interviewing him, he was interviewing them. He wanted
Yeah,
to find out what
blatantly.
they're
Yeah.
right.
Man went
And
in
then
there, man, and told them, bro. Yeah.
after that, he wanted reassurances probably from people he trusted. And then he probably wanted some serious solicitors to write out some contracts that had, if you don't give me what you just told me in that interview, I'm gone. Right
Gone. Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and I always said this, like, I remember when you were being linked with Simeone, and I said, okay, so let's look at Arsenal Football Club under Wenger. And let's look at, like, where I work, there's a lot of contractors, and contracts get renewed when people hit objectives. So when Wenger is getting contract extension, it's because the objectives he has been given, with the resources he has been given, he has hit. So he gets a contract extension. So when he leaves, and everyone's like, Simeone was an example. So Simeone goes in front of your board and says, what are my objectives? And they say, well, we want you to finish top four. Well, straight away he's thinking, well, I was kind of battling for a Champions League and this and that. But okay, and what are you going to give me to achieve that? And then he'll kind of look at it and be like, you know what? The job where I am is all right. You know, I'm just going to stay there. And this is a thing that you have to have, like, your board has created this, and it's a lesson to everyone. The board is to blame for everything at every single football club. Our club, my club right now, is successful because our board's done a sensational job. When I was a kid and Francis Lee took over, our board failed us and we dropped 2 divisions, right? Because it's the board that control everything.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I think Arteta is doing the best job he can. And if next season you finish 6th, 7th, start questioning him. But right now, why are you questioning him? He's got you in the top 4, probably.
Yeah, personal agendas, mate. That's what it is. Very
YouTube
personal.
views.
Exactly. That's right. Fantastic, bruv. Bruv, last question, a bit random, but I like to do that on my channel. Which Premier League player has impressed you the most this season? Hashtag non-Arsenal, non-Man City, unsung hero, mate. Who's your choice, bruv?
So I had to sit
There's
there.
been a few.
Hey, you know why it is tough as well? Because I'll be honest with this. I'm not someone that my life is quite busy. I have a daughter, I have a day job, I do a lot of streams, and sometimes I like to chill. So I don't get to watch all football. I am a City fan. I'm a football fan, but I'm a City fan. I watch City.
Yeah.
I go to games, right? So I had to think about it and think.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
There was an obvious one like Conor Gallagher, I think, is an absolute baller. I think if Chelsea, I think Chelsea have to pull him back because they're going to be effed if they don't.
Yeah.
And then one, and this is, I guess, because I'm not going to come here and say I watch Norwich week in, week out. I watch Burnley or
Yeah, go on, bro.
My unsung hero is Kovacic for Chelsea.
Good shout.
Because I feel like, and he's an absolute baller. I watched him transition the game sensationally from very awkward defensive positions in like 3 touches and a pass, and someone's through on goal. Like, and the key with it is when he has not played for them this season, they've looked different. They've looked like a very different team. It seems a bit easy to me because it's Chelsea. They're in the top 3. But I think he's important. The only other one would probably be McArthur at Palace.
Good shouts, man. Listen, not obvious ones. Yeah, my one's not an obvious one. Let me give him the build up. Let me get the picture of it. You know what? Actually, this was actually a no-brainer. Actually, I actually think he's been good for a couple of years in the Premier League. I wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind him at Arsenal, to be honest. Is this young man Daps? Tyreek Mitchell, brilliant, absolutely.
You know what? I've been having this conversation with someone today. So brilliant. It's mad as well. What I was saying about Sterling earlier, because he came out and said it. About Sterling.
That's going to say that Daps. Yes, he come out and said yes. Go on, bro.
And actually, someone had said, "Would I take him at City?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't know if he." And I'd think about it and thought, you know what? He probably is actually what we need.
Yeah.
I think that's a spot on. That's
listen, he's been excellent for a couple of years, to be honest. Last season, this season.
How old is he now as well?
Tyreek Mitchell is 22, I think. And listen, man's broken into England squad, got a couple of caps now. Defensively, very, very sound. Very sound. I need to see more of him probably offensively, but from what I've seen of him at Palace for the last 2 seasons, big shout. Like I said,
you know what? Not always. Sometimes
last season.
Sometimes it's all right for a fullback to just do the job as a defender.
Thank you. Tomiyasu, thank you.
Chilwell isn't amazing going forward. I think Chelsea have massively missed Chilwell as well. And I actually think Robertson's not that good going forward either. And I think Robertson's a sensational defender. That's a good shout. I think that Mitchell one might pick up. He might. Sorry, I'm going to...
Go on, bro.
Sorry. Mitchell might pick up some legs with a move to City because
the funny thing is, I think was it last season? I'm sure he was out of contract going into sort of last season. A big club should have took a punt on this guy and got him out of Palace. No disrespect to Palace. Palace was thinking, leave him, he's one of our guys. But yeah, man, listen, the way he's been performing the last couple of seasons, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if one of your boys come in for him. I wouldn't mind him at Arsenal personally. I'll say that, put it out there now.
But I mean, with Tierney,
you know what it is though. I love Kieran Tierney, but I think it's a lot of Arsenal fans are resigned to the fact that
injury
prone. As good as he is, injuries.
Yeah, sometimes it gets like that, doesn't it? With players,
he had a double hernia at Celtic before we got him. So mate.
Yeah, sometimes injuries. It gets to a point where I'll be honest. Before last season, that was my position with John Stones, because it was like, especially with defenders, because it's very difficult to find a Premier League winning team whose defense has been swapping and changing all season.
Exactly.
Like, it's all about, corners, crosses, the line moving together. The minute you've got different players coming in week out, and I think that's one of our issues this season. We haven't really we keep changing our centre backs this season, whereas last season it was Diaz, Stones, full stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good shout with Mitchell. There was another one. The other one I could have shouted, but he dropped off a bit. Was I don't know what. I just haven't heard his name. But no, he's at Burnley.
Oh, McNeil.
No, what's his name? Is it?
Is it? Oh, Maxwell Colney.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not done too bad. He's not done
He's
too
dropped
bad.
quiet now. Before Christmas, he
Yeah.
was flying. It's gone a bit quiet now.
I'll tell you what I like as well, Daps. He had a big injury last season, but he's coming back slowly this season. Berrieze.
Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah. Absolute baller. Him and then now they've got the other one with a very similar name, innit?
Listen. Yeah.
They've got ballers, man. I mean,
Yeah,
Vieira's doing
flipping
Vieira's doing a good job. I listened to an interview with Zaha early on in the season, and it was quite interesting. He was talking about who gets bad press, but actually comes across arrogant. But the guy's a very nice guy. He does a lot of work for charity, man, and came across actually in this interview. Once you start really deep in Wilfried Zaha, he's a really good, really good guy. But he was talking about the influence Vieira's had on him, and Vieira had said to him, "You're not getting enough goals, like." Like, why aren't you taking free kicks? Why aren't you taking this? Like,
exactly.
You're the top. And he got in his head, you know what? You're right, you know.
Yeah,
yeah. I need to stop trying to be the creator and start being the gunman a bit more. And it's true. But Vieira's he's doing a good job. I don't want to. I mean, you're an Arsenal fan. I'm a City fan, so he's going to be linked to both our clubs because of his history with us. And the mad thing is, they've taken points off of both of us this season.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Listen,
but
you know what? I would want him back. That's one day, but just not now. Not it's too early.
You know what? I've watched it at other clubs, and it's the same with company. That I'm like, I'm not willing to have a player that I've loved back until they have earned it to a next level. Because I've watched other fan bases fall out of love with legends. I've got too many very because of Vincent Kompany, in my eyes, I celebrated the title win with my dad before he passed away. And I will always remember that because of Vincent Kompany. I don't want to fall out of love with that man. And if he comes in, just because he's got to one cup final with Anderlecht, that doesn't mean he can come and manage Manchester City just yet. And the same with Vieira and Arsenal.
100%. That's the
thing.
Done
right there. The pressure at Arsenal is very different.
100%.
Yeah.
No, that's good shout. But people, man, much love to you, man. It's been a fantastic show, man. People in the chat, thank you for interaction. Go and follow Daps. Tell the people where they can find you, man. Because obviously, and your channel, man. Plug it.
So, on Instagram, please. Firstly, MCFC Daps. If not, Twitter as well. But be nice, play nice. No toxic messages.
No.
And then on YouTube, you can find me at Never a Foul or Feed the Goat. Feed the Goat is just a Manchester City channel. Never Fails, everything generic. And we've been quiet, but from June we're going to be 4 shows a week.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on. Great chat.
You're fantastic, man. This. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Yeah, man. People, like I said, smash the like button, subscribe to my football community. Get behind that, man. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Gonna be bringing back on again. But yeah, man, weekly surgery, man. The Albert JTV practice is closed for another episode, man. Episode 9's out, man. But people, much love. Like I said, we move, man. The season's not over yet. Crunch time. People,
are you going to get top 4? Are you going to get top 4?
You know what? Before the start of the season, I've always kept it kind of. I said I think Arsenal might just miss out, but it's in our hands, man. When it's in your hands, you've only got to you're the only ones to blame if you throw it away and lose it, man.
You've done the hard work now.
The Tottenham game's a pivotal game. That's the one. That's the one. But you know what? One thing that worries me, Daps, is our last couple of games where we scored goals, we conceded straight away. Chelsea twice.
Yeah, it was both of them were like pinball.
Saturday as well.
Yeah. They were. I clocked that as well.
Defensively, the clean sheets are dried up, so we need to switch on and change that ASAP because we can't afford any more mistakes.
So one last thing I'll just say to you, right, is one thing that Pep's got City very good at is our bounce back. So I think first season it wasn't so good, but I think generally now under Pep, if we lose a game, I think the most losing run we've gone on is 2 games, then it's back to a win. Right. Well, you've done that.
We've done that a few times this season.
We've done that now. He does seem to be getting that bounce back, and that is the key in football. That is the key. When your run comes to an end, being able to get that run back going again, and not
because losing them first 3 games against Palace, Brighton, and Southampton, that was a hammer blow. But to pick up the winner away to Chelsea and beat United back to back, massive.
You can't
Massive.
complain about that. Your fan base just needs to get behind him, man. Keep the Emirates bouncing. Get behind Arteta, and you'll get over the line. And also go across to. I still can't believe their ground is called the Tottenham. How can a club so about money and an owner or chairman so about money not have a sponsorship yet? Come on, Levy.
But no, we've got West Ham away. Listen, they've got some injury troubles defensively. So listen, it could work in our favour, man. We need a bit of luck, but that's much love, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. People, as your host, Albert J TV, subscribe to the channel. Not far off 1K, people. So hopefully get there before the end of the season. And yeah, that is Weekly Surgery. Over and out, people. Much love.